Man, you should have seen the look on Victoria Langford's face standing there in my soggy den, water lapping at her fancy boots, yelling, "You planned this, didn't you?" And yeah, she nailed it. I had, in a way, but only because she'd pushed me right into it with that ridiculous $2,000 fine for stockpiling runoff and her demand to rip out my homemade catchment setup. 3 days later, as the storm hit, I watched her precious community center, the one she'd built like some ego monument, get swallowed by the flood. I complied with, floating off like a bad dream. It all kicked off about a year back when I made what felt like the dumbest move ever, snagging this rugged 10-acre chunk of hill in eastern Tennessee, maybe 45 minutes from Knoxville. I'm Jake Harlan. Used to be a lead water specialist for the EPA, spent over a decade chasing down pollution scandals, writing reports that mostly got ignored in some DC drawer. But when I called out a big chemical dump cover-up in the Ohio Valley, it backfired: hard harassment, blacklisting, and boom, early retirement at 39 with just enough payout to vanish into the woods. That land? It screamed fixer-upper nightmare, steep, rocky, overgrown but cheap at $75,000. And after dodging sketchy landlords who Googled my whistleblower past, I craved the quiet. The realtor, this twitchy guy named Marty Klein, kept glancing at his phone like he was late for a funeral, muttering about the old owner just wanting it gone quick, no haggling, cash only. Something felt off, but hey, desperation makes you sign anyway. First big surprise hit when I cleared a spot for my cabin, hired a local crew, and their boss, old Earl Jenkins, kills the dozer after a couple hours, points to this wet rock cracking open with crystal clear water bubbling up like nature's own faucet. "You got yourself a spring here, buddy," he says, scratching his beard. "Thousands of gallons a day. Easy, especially after rain." I tasted it cold, pure, better than any store-bought stuff, and my old EPA instincts fired up. Tests from labs confirmed it. Perfect pH, zero contaminants, like liquid gold from an aquifer snaking under the hills. So I reworked my plans, built a simple pond to catch it, let overflow trickle down the natural gully, all permitted and inspected by the county. For months, it was paradise. Solar power would heat, endless fresh water, and my nearest neighbors down in Willow Creek, Estetis, a bunch of McMansions on old farmland far enough that their pool parties didn't bug me. Or so I thought. Then one sticky July morning, this sleek black SUV crawls up my gravel drive, and out steps Victoria HOA Queen Bee, all tailored blazer, sharp heels sinking in the mud, clipboard in hand like a weapon. "Mr. Harlan," she calls, flashing that fake warm smile politicians practice in mirrors. "I'm Victoria Langford, president of Willow Creek. You got some watershed worries affecting the whole area. Mind if we chat?" Her eyes dart right past me to my pond, sizing it up like a shark spotting lunch. I tell her flat out, "I'm not in your HOA. Mammy Land's separate." But she doesn't blink, hands me this glossy packet about environmental stewardship and how water doesn't respect fences, hinting at county complaints if I don't play ball. It reeked of beast technical terms mangled, implying power she didn't have, and I caught her slipping details about my setup that screamed she'd been spying. That lit a fire in Mimi. EPA days taught me to spot bullies hiding behind regulations. And Victoria? She wasn't just nosy. Digging deeper, I found she ran Brookside Ventures on the side, snapping up parcels around my spring at fire sale prices after HOA fines drove owners out. It was a racket. Cite folks for petty stuff, rack up penalties, then swoop in cheap. And my water? Key to her $40 million dream Crystal Brook Estates, luxury homes with exclusive natural aquifer access to jack up prices for rich folks craving eco-chic. She'd greased local palms for fast permits, attended county meetings pushing rules that'd let her control upstream flows under community benefit guises. Greed, Pure and simple, her ego tied to turning our hills into her cash cow, and my independent setup threatened it all, stirring up old resentment from folks who'd lost land to her schemes. I could have lawyered up right away, but nah, I played it smart, consulting my old buddy Alex Rivera, an environmental attorney who'd battled similar crooks. We fired back with reams of docs, my water rights tracing back to 1902 deeds, federal protections since it fed into protected streams. Copied the EPA, state folks made it clear any meddling was a federal no-no. Victoria's response? Escalation, Sitya bogus fine letter claiming my pond was a flood hazard, demanding I drain it or face enforcement. Fraudulent as hell, signed with fake county stamps. Surveillance vans parked nearby. Anonymous tips flooding agencies about my illegal hoarding. It got personal, her desperation showing as deadlines loomed for her investors. Whispers of her past failed deals fueling the rage. But she'd messed with the wrong guy. I'd learned to turn red tape into a noose. Here's where flips. I get this emergency order from her, forged as county directive. Drain immediately or we'll do it for you. With a monster storm brewing forecast screaming 6 inches of rainy sawmy out. Alex grins. She's ordering her own disaster comply. Document it and let physics handle the rest. I set up cameras, notified real county officials, even had an inspector on site when she rolls up with a deputy in tow, hard hat on like she's starring in her own drama. Mr. Harlan, she booms. We're here to enforce compliance, step aside. The deputy looks uneasy as I hand him my proof. These docs are fakes. Officer, check with your boss. Victoria's mask cracks. This is for community safety. But I smile back. Fine, I'll comply right now. And start dismantling the barriers, water starting to rush free. Her eyes wide and wait, perhaps delay for assessment. Too late. The trap sprung, her own words dooming her palace. Storm hits like vengeance rain hammering down, my unbound spring merging with runoff, barreling toward Willow Creek. By dawn, their fancy centers underwater, foundation crumbling, gardens a swamp, $3 million gone, homes flooded, roads out. Victoria shows at the command post, sputtering. He's a saboteur. But docs prove it. Her order caused it. Feds swoop in EPA, FBI raiding her offices, uncovering the investor fraud, her rigged deals. Arrested in cuffs, her empire crumbles. Bankruptcy, 20 months prison, millions in restitution. Willow Creek rebounds, smarter new board, real drainage, even partnering with me on sustainable flows. Me, back consulting, protecting folks from these land grabs, sipping spring water on my porch, knowing sometimes justice flows downhill. But here's the thing that still nags, was I too harsh, letting nature teach the lesson, or did she earn every drop? What would you do if some HOA tyrant tried stealing your slice of heaven? Drop your take in the comments, right, wrong, or somewhere in between. Hit like if you've battled bureaucracy, subscribe for more real talk wins, and share your HOA horror stories. Let's chat.